fatal heart impacts, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions, fact don't ask, grab reactions, jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose. Pick a new silver excuse, I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're discreet now. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty, hello everybody. This is Show here, and now, whenever we last left off with this series, we had Izuku Midoriya, who he has been working with Onslaught so as to gain his trust and find Franklin Richards. Now, with that being said, Midoriya has been doing well. Midoriya, he got into a fight with a sentry, where it appears the boy murdered the Golden Man. After that, he went to the Charles Xavier Institute for Gifted Children, and he was able to show off impressive power. Him and some new allies being able to take down the X-Men and kidnap Nathan Gray. Now, with that being said, Midoriya, he did also want to make up for one of his mistakes, and he tried out a new power he knew would be risky. And Midoriya, he apologized to Magic by bringing Colossus, her brother, back from the dead. Now, with that being said, we do actually have Midoriya and the 5 Stepford sisters, as Irma does ask if that was really a good idea for Midoriya to do, and if he's sure that that's really Colossus. Yes, I did. So far, so good. No signs of, well, I don't know, dark magic or anything like that. Magic would be an expert. If you're asking if he's a zombie or something, I don't think he is. As far as I could tell, that's Colossus, nothing more. Still, I mean, Celeste will go on stating. Her actually flying a bit close to Midoriya and asking if bringing someone back from the dead is really that easy. Oh no. Listen, I could barely make water just a few years ago. Now I'm setting off nuclear bombs and, well, bringing people back from the dead. My powers are jumping super fast. Besides, at this rate, I'm not too sure how far I can go. Honestly, it's kind of terrifying. Now, some of them would agree, some of them would disagree. Midoriya's powers are crazy, and they're kind of jealous. Now, we do actually have when Midoriya and everyone does get to the Hell Club, or the Hellfire Club. And we do actually then have Midoriya, as he is standing outside. Midoriya bringing up his helmet, and actually communicating to Mina that the plan is about to go through, and asking her if she is going to send out that message that she did ask him to. Now, Mina, she would actually just look up after hearing this response, and she would just go to pick up her cell phone and dial a phone number Midoriya told her to, as she does make a phone call. Now, with that being said, Midoriya, he would wake up Nathan Gray and inform him about what's going to happen. Midoriya's going to walk in there with Nathan over his shoulder. Nathan's going to be wearing a metal helmet. The moment Midoriya gives a signal, he's going to pull the helmet off and use his power. They're going to try and mentally assault Onslaught. And the moment this does happen, he is going to face a lot of trouble. Now, Nathan, he would agree. As Midoriya, he does bring his hand down to the ground and just turn a piece of the street into a metal cap. Him just putting it on and getting ready. Now, Midoriya would pick him back up and throw him over his shoulder, as he does go to walk in. As we are 3.5 days away from the birth of Hope Summers. Now, with that being said, Midoriya and the Stedford Cuckoos, they do walk into the bar. As Onslaught, he does turn to see Midoriya. And there's actually a few more people around this time. There's Mystique, there's Rogue, Mina comes walking down the stairs, and there's even that, well, black-haired guy with a scar on his face. Now, Midoriya, he would go asking about that guy. As the guy, he does just say that this is the one that turned Tetsu into water. Please, who the fuck are you? Hey, I'm a fan of yours, but don't talk to me like that. I can talk to you however I want. Besides, I am the man who can snap your neck with just a simple thought. Keep that in mind. Or would you rather me fill your lungs with needles? 'Cause I can do that from here. What to say? Him bring up his hand and making a needle on Kirishima's tongue. Kirishima actually going to turn and bring his hand up as he does pull a needle out of his mouth. And he does look frightened at that, as he would just turn and say, "My bad." That's what I thought. Now, Midoriya, he would look around a bit more. There's a few people he doesn't recognize. However, there is at least 2 he does know. He's ran into them before. Sabretooth, the man that gave Midoriya a scar on his left arm and a part of his cheek. And Gambit, the man who fucking traumatized Midoriya as a child by throwing a playing card in someone's head that Midoriya was trying to interrogate. Now, Midoriya, he would notice, Gambit immediately. And Sabretooth, it's kind of hard to forget that guy's face, especially because it reminds him so much of Logan. Now, Midoriya, he would just tell Nate, with one of his hands, as he does bring down one of his fingers with his left hand. This signal was to tell that there's more people, and to just give him a minute. Now, the X-Men and the Sentry are all on their way, as you do actually have Mystique, who does turn to Rogue and hand her something. Now, Onslaught does ask Midoriya if that's him. Yeah, it is. Real easy. Besides, I started the battle in the next state, caught him by surprise, and my friends here. Midoriya turning and putting his hand out, as the 5 cloaked figures do walk up, saying that they all helped him quite well. They overloaded Cerebro and took down Jean Grey, and they even kept him busy for a short period. Interesting. Locked him in a psychic battle, I assume. Child's play. No, it isn't. Really. Your words humble me. Anyways, what next? Now, Sabretooth would walk up, talking about how he hasn't seen this kid in years, and asking him if it feels good to be the bad guy. I wouldn't know. I'm the good guy. Sure you are, kid. Anyways, I did want to have a drink with you. See what you know. I'll pass. Shame. I was hoping to know more about them, though. Now, Nathan, he does get a bit annoyed. How much longer is this going to take? Now, you do actually then have Midoriya, who does tell Onslaught that he does need to know the rest now. Now, this would be where you do actually have Mina, who's standing there on the stairs with a phone still in her hand, as she's listening to this as well, asking Charles to continue on with the explanation. Right. As you all know, hey, you're forgetting the elephant in the room. Now, Midoriya would turn his head to see the guy who's just sitting there, in a red and black mask. Now, Midoriya would turn to this guy, asking exactly who he is. Oh, come on, kid. You know who I am, Merc with a mouth. The best mercenary ever. Best assassin ever. Actually, no, wait. In order to be an assassin, you have to be not well known. Best merc ever. Coolest guy ever. You know who I am. Come on. No. Really? No one's once mentioned me. Not even old Wolfie. I don't understand. Anyways, kid. Listen, I know what you're about to do. And you might need something that can help you out here. Just hang on, give me a minute. Now, Deadpool does go rooting into one of his pockets, as he does pull out a gun. That's not what he needed. Now, Midoriya does watch Deadpool do this. He pulls out the contents of his pockets. There's guns, loose chains, half of a Snickers bar, a chimichanga, and many other things. However, he does finally find it. Him pulling out an envelope and saying that this is what he needed. Jeez. Sorry. This reality's kind of strange, you know? Yeah. Sorry. Do I know you? Have we met before? No. I mean, probably in this guy's head, but not on this platform. Then again, you were me once. What? Never mind. You don't know about that. Anyways, I'm gonna go now. Later. Now, Midoriya does watch Deadpool go to walk away. Him walking out and slamming the door, before coming back in and going to pick up the Snickers bar he left. Now, that was a Deadpool cameo. I know a lot of you guys are probably waiting for it, and I gave it to you. Now, Midoriya, he does look down at this envelope that Deadpool did hand him. And he is confused about what it is, as he does feel something inside. Now, Onslaught does just tell Midoriya to put that away for right now. He can open it later. Yeah, alright. So, who was that guy? Don't listen to him, he's insane. Alright. Now, Midoriya, he does just listen to what Onslaught does have to say, as he would explain the plan. He's already absorbed Franklin Richards. He now needs to absorb Nathan Gray. From then on, his power will be able to extend around the entire world. And if he can get more power and control over Franklin than what he does already seem to possess, then he'll be able to order the boy and force him to recreate reality. And once this does happen, he will be able to make the entire world's population mutants. Now, Midoriya, he does hear this plan. There's a part of him that wants to help. And he does just look stunned. As you have Mina and even Rogue. They didn't know about this. Neither did the Stedford sisters. Now, the Avengers, they do hear about that, making the entire world's population mutants. the amount of power that would take would be disastrous. And with how people already act without mutant powers, crime would skyrocket. It would get so bad the heroes wouldn't be able to control it. Now, the heroes, they're already having trouble managing. And Midoriya, he does just somewhat say to Charles that this is a perfect plan. I mean, I never thought about it. No one can hate each other if they're all the same. Yes, that's the perfect idea. So anyways, young man, hand over Nathan. Now, Midoriya, he does go to step forwards. However, he also does hesitate. What am I doing? Now, Onslaught would watch as Midoriya hesitated, and he does just stare at the boy, asking what's taking so long. Now, Midoriya, he would just turn his head, and he does hear it. As Midoriya, he throws himself to the left, and the sentry comes flying straight through the door, and he smashes right into Onslaught, picking him up and flying him straight to the other side of the bar. Now, with that, Nathan, he does go to throw off his helmet, and he does go to jump off of Midoriya, as he would go to land on the ground and he would turn around, immediately going to throw his hands up and blast energy right at Sabretooth. Now, you do actually have Mystique, who she did go to jump up and fight. However, you do have Rogue, who she quickly just brought her hand up and stopped her mom. Now, Mystique was surprised because Rogue, she made a blade out of her arm, and her arm turned to the metallic skin of Colossus. Now, Mystique would just look down at her daughter, confused as to how she was able to do that so fast. However, she does go to look down at her left hand. As Rogue, she does have a finger-touching Mystique. Now, she would just tell her mom to not do that. Fine. Whatever. It's not like I can stop him anyways. What do you mean? Easy. Reynolds is going to be murdered today. He doesn't need Nathan. He wanted him to make things easier. Now he's going to have to use force. And you know exactly how much that is going to annoy him. Now, with that being said, we do have Midoriya who actually does go to run forwards and join the sentry in his battle. However, we do actually have a few seconds later where Robert Reynolds, he's already been taken down by Onslaught. Onslaught used Reynolds' insecurities about himself, and he even did create a older version of himself, or a younger version of himself, who was still an addict in front of him. Robert having to hear his past over and over again. Now, Robert quickly broke down at this and relapsed. He was not ready yet. He's heard it a bunch. He didn't think he was strong enough. And tried to shout to this illusion that he's no longer that person. And he's in control now. He is the sentry. Now, Midoriya would watch as Robert is screaming at this illusion. And you do have Midoriya who does just turn back to look at Onslaught. As Midoriya, he does go to bring up his hands and try to battle with this entity. Now, Onslaught would immediately just bring up his own hands. As Midoriya, him and Onslaught, they do both create psionic walls, and the walls slam into one another. As Midoriya, he does start to walk forwards towards Charles. And Charles, he actually does go to cock back his arm and go to rush forwards, as he does use his brain power to augment his physical strength. Now, him and Midoriya do clash, And the Stepford sisters, they do try to get involved. Now, you do also have Nathan Gray. Onslaught, he immediately looked at him when he came back into the room. All he has to do is get Midoriya distracted and create an illusion of his failure. The same thing can apply to the Sentry, so it can apply to Midoriya. Now, he does go to look back at Midoriya, as you do actually then have Rogue, who she does come running up behind Onslaught, and she does go to jump up on him. Her grabbing onto his armor as she does go to try and reach under the helmet for Xavier's head. Now, Xavier, he does take the chance, and he immediately would pull Rogue off of his back and go to throw her. As she does turn her skin to metal and she does crash into something. As we actually do have Mina, who she's screaming at them that they're breaking the bar. Now, you do have Captain America and the rest of the Avengers who do come in and go to handle Onslaught. The moment he would see the Earth's heroes, he does look at all of them. And he does get to turn to Midoriya. Him going to bring up his hand and make a giant wall. Now, Onslaught does this begin to start surrounding the building in this wall, as the Avengers are locked outside. And you do then have him go to turn back to Midoriya. Before Midoriya, he does actually go to push back against Onslaught, as he's actually stretching his mental capabilities. And blood does begin to start running out of his nose. And Onslaught would see that, as he would push back at Midoriya. The two are fighting through the astral plane, and they can feel it shake. Every single telepath in that room can feel the astral plane wavering and almost snapping. These two are forcing their connections together, and they're tearing each other apart. Now, you do actually then have Nathan Summers, who he does try to go against Onslaught in the same way Midoriya is. The moment this did happen, you actually have Onslaught who did look towards him and create something. As Nathan, he does have a piece of metal directly create into his stomach. As he would look down at this bar, him going to pull it out as he does scream out in pain, bringing his hands up and going to blast away at him with his power. Now, as it does happen, he does stop the psychic attack against Midoriya. And Midoriya, he does drop his defenses. Him going to dodge out of the way of Nathan's blast, before rushing in and going to directly go for him. Now, he does go to bring out his hand, and he does stab into him with 2 fingers, before picking him up and holding him to the sky, before pulling him down towards his body and absorbing him through the armor. Now, the moment that did happen, Midoriya, he did begin to feel the room shake. As Onslaught, he is beginning to get things done. He does feel it. The power he holds. He is a god. And you do have Midoriya who does scream out for Charles. Now, the walls Onslaught have created have all fallen. And you do have Captain America and a few of the Avengers who do go rushing towards Onslaught, as they're trying to do the best that they can to take him down. Now, Midoriya, he does go to step forwards and rush towards Onslaught as somebody does put their hand out in front of him. Now, this is Captain Marvel, who she does go on telling Midoriya to not approach, talking about how he absorbed a mutant. They don't know what he could do to him. Now, Midoriya, he does just look at the situation going on, as you do actually have, let's say, I'm trying to think of a superhero right now. Let's just say that we have Captain America, who does go rushing in because he does want to try and hit down into the armor with his shield. The moment he approaches Onslaught, he is absorbed. And Onslaught, he does seem to waver Now, the Earth's heroes do watch this, as multiple Avengers do begin to rush towards Onslaught to try and take him down. Now, you do then have Midoriya, who he does watch what the Earth's heroes are doing. Him going to throw out his hands and directly grab Onslaught by his helmet, as he would rip it off, and you do see Xavier's face. Now, Xavier, he does have a crazy look, as he does look towards Midoriya and he does just go to blast lasers or a energy blast from his eyes. Him directly hitting Midoriya. As Midoriya, he does go to bring his hands up and defend from the blast. Now, the blasters just push Midoriya out of the bar and destroy everything behind him. As Midoriya, he does feel how powerful these beams are, as it begins to hurt his arm before tearing away flesh. Now, Midoriya, he does need to get the sentry, as he does go to move to the left and then fly forwards. Midoriya directly flying for Robert Reynolds, as he tries to snap him out of his illusion. Now, it does take a minute, but Midoriya, he does get Robert. As Robert, he finally does look around confused, before realizing what happened. Now, he does look up to where Onslaught was, before turning around and hearing the commotion. As he does go flying into the room, and he does go to rush towards this villain. Now, Onslaught would turn around as he would be able to hit down at the sentry, who does go flying directly into Onslaught's gut. Now, Midoriya would watch on. A lot of the Avengers just flew into this guy. And what now? He doesn't know what to do. Now, Onslaught, he is trying to cope with the amount of power he does hold, as he does start to get larger and larger and larger, and he does break through the Hellfire Club. Now, Midoriya would look around, as he does see Reed Richards, asking him if he has a plan. Now, Richards, he does talk about how he does have one, as he does hold up something in his hand, talking about how it's a absolutely last resort, and that they need to focus on getting Franklin back. Now, Midoriya would look at Reed, and he would look at the device in his hand, as he'll go to look back at Onslaught, who he's already beginning to create this new world, and he is doing what he wants. Midoriya looking straight at Reed as he does go running at him. Him going to grab him by his hand and grab this device out of it, as he does turn towards Onslaught. Now, Reed would look on in horror, telling Midoriya to put that device down now. He doesn't know what it's capable of. Midoriya looking down at it, as he does find a trigger, and he goes rushing right for Onslaught. Now, Reed is still screaming out for Midoriya, as Midoriya would put the ultimate nullifier right to Onslaught's throat, and he does put his finger on the trigger, as he does begin to start squeezing down on the button. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing night. I'll catch you guys in the next part.